Hey guys, Steve here, and last time we completed a run of Pokemon Blue with only an Ammonite. This run is going to be Vileplume. Yes, that's right, everyone's favorite happy flower. Vileplume is an interesting Pokemon, not seeing a lot of play because its evolution requiring a stone and being locked to the red version of the game. The rules are going to be the same as they always are. They will be located in the description section of this video, or just pause the screen if you'd like to see them. All 3 Easter eggs were located in the last video. This video will have 3. Here are the comments that found the Easter eggs from the last video. I am writing the script after the run. Please try and guess in the comment section what parts you think will be the hardest. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on future videos. If you want to help this channel grow, please comment "In Bloom" for the YouTube algorithm. First off, we're going to start by grabbing our level 5 Vileplume and replacing Bulbasaur with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to make sure that Champ has a Charizard. Charizard is definitely going to be the hardest starter to face because it is fast and it has Flamethrower, which could be a very devastating blow at the end of the game. I give it the nickname Big Flower, as it's just a big flower. I set Game Hook to give it perfect DVs before starting. Our first battle with the champ is a relatively easy one, as we have Acid on our side and Charmander only has Scratch, which leads him to not do very much damage before being finished off. Now, an interesting thing to note here is even though we're at level 6, we can actually challenge Champ 1A at this point because we have Sleep Powder, and that's a pretty decent move to have this early on in the game. The battle goes just about how you'd probably expect. We take a sand attack from Pidgey, and that causes our accuracy to go down, and our Sleep Powder is a relatively low accuracy move to begin with, but eventually we make our way through with Acid. Which brings us to Charmander, and Charmander does go to sleep rather easily, and Acid is able to eventually get it through after enough attempts. It was definitely closer than I expected. Now, thanks to all that extra XP that we earned from Champ 1A, we can actually skip all of the trainers in Viridian Forest, as we don't actually need that experience anymore, and we can walk ourselves right up to Brock. He starts with the Geodude as always, and we use our Petal Dance, and it takes care of it in one hit, as well as the Onix on the next turn. Now, there were no issues going through Mount Moon, as I was able to use Petal Dance on every single Geodude, and I only fought the hiker that had Geodudes. But, as I made my way through Mount Moon, I heard a strange sound. I made my way toward this sound. It's coming from the Helix fossil. It's saying, "Please like, subscribe, and comment in Bloom." It sounds like sound logic, but I need to work my way towards Misty. The reason why we're picking Misty is if you look at the bottom hand part of the screen, we resist water moves, and Misty is not going to use water moves because we resist them. Therefore, she's only going to use Tackle, and we have a pretty decent HP stat. Now, for Misty, I'm trying to set Staryu to sleep. That way I'm able to finish it off with some acids. That way, when we move over to Starmie, we can then use Petal Dance and not be confused at any point during the Starmie battle. Thanks to Sleep Powder, I actually believe this Rival 2 battle is going to go quite well, as long as Pidgeotto isn't able to land a sand attack before we're even able to get a Sleep Powder off. Rival 2 battle actually starts quite well, as Pidgeotto only uses Quick Attack, and thanks to a Speed tie, we're actually able to use our Sleep Powder first, resulting in victory. Then the following Abra and Rattata are able to be taken out with some acids. Charmander is then taken out thanks to Sleep Powder and some acids. Very easy. Next, we would normally be heading over to Champ 3, but we ran into some problems at Nugget Bridge, so I'll be showing you that battle next. This battle then starts with a Rattata, as we make quick work of it thanks to Sleep Powder and an acid. And then the Ekans, we go ahead and also use the Sleep Powder, but in order to save on PP, we then switch to Petal Dance. But the Petal Dance then confuses us for the Zubat, in which we accidentally hit ourselves way too many times, and unfortunately leads to a loss. But the next Rival 2 battle seems to go about the same way, and we work our way to the SSN, where we pick up Body Slam. For Champ 3, Pidgeotto goes about the same way, as we set it to sleep, and then use Body Slam to take it out. Then, for Raticate, we then just use a Body Slam. And for Kadabra, again, just another Body Slam. For Charmeleon, the plan does change a little bit, as we use Sleep Powder, and then, afterwards, we just use some Body Slams for the easy victory. Then, we're going to head over to Surge next, and because we have a resistance to electric type moves, this one should go rather easily. Voltorb is first, and the first Acid doesn't take it out, but the next one does. Pikachu is next, and Acid is more than enough to take it out. Raichu is next, and it hits us with a critical hit Thunderbolt as our Sleep Powder then misses, but this one was never in question as we finish off Raichu with an Acid and a Body Slam. We didn't run into any issues going through Rock Tunnel as we were able to take out the Status Condition Trainer without too much difficulty, and then we're going to find our way into Celadon as we're going to be going against Erica next. Victory Bell is first, and we start out with a failed Sleep Powder, followed by a successful Sleep Powder, and then we go ahead and use some Body Slams to take it out. Tangela is next, and because it's a solo Grass type, it's the only Grass type Pokemon that's actually weak to an Acid, but we're running into problems setting it to sleep. But before long, we're actually able to set it to sleep, and then we're going to be able to finish it off with just 2 acids. The Imposter Vileplume is last, but this one has already won because we quadruple resist grass moves, which leads her to only use Poison Powder, which as you can see is her only poison move. Now that we have a few extra dollars in our pocket, we then head over to the Celadon Mart in order to buy some Carbos. Because we're slow, we need to increase our speed by just a little bit more. Our plan for Rival 4 is just about the same. We attempt to put Pidgeotto to sleep, and then we use some Body Slams, and then we move on to Execute, and we don't even need to put it to sleep as Acid is able to take it out. Gyarados, however, is a little bit more of a threat. We put it to sleep and hit it with some Body Slams, but we don't really have a good move for it. Kadabra, of course, Body Slam, but Charmeleon, oof. That Ember does nothing. Next up, you would think that I'd be talking about Koga or Rival 5, but unfortunately we ran into some troubles here in the Pokemon Mansion. I go into the battle relatively damaged because I didn't really think much of the fight, and to be honest, the first Ghastly isn't much of a fight. I'm confused and paralyzed for the second Ghastly, and I even hit myself in confusion at one point. But luckily, things go my way as I finish it off. Now, before Koga, we actually run into problems with the Drowsy Hypno Trainer next. Let's take a look. We start off with a missed Sleep Powder, which causes a critical hit confusion to put us in bad shape, but Drowsy is then taken care of with 2 Body Slams. Hypno, however, we miss another one and it takes us out. On the very next attempt, things go a lot better as we're able to put Drowsy to sleep and take it out with a Body Slam. And then Hypno is also able to be put into sleep and taken out with a Body Slam, but a few more this time. But way better. Koga is next, and this one's going to be rather difficult, as he is only poison types and all of our moves are being resisted by poison except for Body Slam. Coughing is first, and we hit it with a few Body Slams, and before long it's being taken out. But now we realize that we have no more Body Slams left for Muck, and we have to try out an Acid, which does almost nothing. So we switch over to Petal Dance, but Petal Dance seems to be doing about nothing as well. Thanks to a bit of luck, we're able to get through Muck, and brings us to the Coughing. But now, we're confused, and we're just going to be continuing to hit ourselves over and over again. On the next attempt, however, we're able to put the Coughing to sleep with relative ease and take it out with a few Body Slams. But now, we only have 10 Body Slams left for the rest of the team, and we miss our first Sleep Powder, and our second Sleep Powder. But after the next one lands, we're then able to start hitting it with some Body Slams, which don't do very much, but thanks to a crit, we're able to get through with relative ease. Now, we have only a Coughing left before the Big Bad and Wheezing, and Coughing, it goes down just the same way as the first Coughing did. Now, for Wheezing, we only have 3 Body Slams left, but luckily we're able to outspeed and put it to sleep and then use our 3 Body Slams. But it survives, and now we have to switch over to Petal Dance, as Smog doesn't do enough damage and we get the win. Up next, before we take on Rival 5, I make sure to pick up and teach Swords Dance to Big Flower. I teach it over Petal Dance, as Petal Dance has outlived its usefulness, and the confusion is really starting to backfire on us. Rival 5 is next, and we take this opportunity to set Pidgeot to sleep, and then we take it out with some Body Slams. Next up is Execute, and this one is going to be easy as we're just going to use Acid like we did last time. Gyarados is next, and it has a quite improved moveset from last time, but unfortunately it just uses a Bite, which is very weird, so we put it to sleep and we take it out with some Body Slams. Next up is Alakazam, and we're in deep crap as Confusion hits for massive damage as our Sleep Powder then misses and the next Confusion takes us out. After that attempt, I took a look at my XP and realized that I need to level up earlier in the battle, so I fight a nearby trainer here and get a little bit more XP and then go in for the next attempt. Next attempt doesn't go very well, as the following wing attack does a lot of damage and then it wakes up from sleep very quickly and hits us with another wing attack, but luckily we're able to take it out and bring us to Execute. We start off by putting Execute to sleep and then setting up with 2 Sword Stance, but then it wakes up and we put it right back to sleep, as we're then able to take it out with an acid. Next up is Gyarados, and we start by attempting to put it to sleep and failing miserably. But then we hit and we take it out with a Body Slam. Alakazam is next, and this is why we set up, and we take it out with a Body Slam followed by the Charizard on the next turn. This is the point of the game where we need to start paying attention to just how much XP we have to the next level up, so we can badge boost at the right time to make sure that we're able to do massive damage for every single battle going forth. Sabrina is next, and she hits us with a massive Psybeam that ends up confusing us, and we hit ourselves in confusion, and the following Psychic takes us out. Then, Kadabra is able to hit us with a massive Psychic as our Sleep Powder manages to hit and we use an Acid, but it doesn't take it out, so our next Acid then finishes it off, taking us to Mr. Mime. We then put Mr. Mime to sleep as we start our setup, and we get 3 Sword Stance in, and then we switch over to use Acid, and it takes Mr. Mime out, leading us to Venomoth. Venomoth is then taken out with a Body Slam. Then Alakazam is taken out with a Body Slam as well. Blaine is next up on the docket to be taken out, but we're very slow, and our XP is in a very awkward position. This upcoming battle is actually very awkward, and personally, I don't think I did very well, but we put Growlithe to sleep and take it out with Acid. And then we put Ponyta to sleep, and then we're also going to be taking this one out with Body Slam. We then level up, and Rapidash unfortunately outspeeds us, so we're unable to actually use our Sleep Powder until we get out of Fire Spin. How long do you think Fire Spin is going to continue hitting? I mean, it is a really low accuracy move, but unfortunately we don't get to attack as it never misses. On the next attempt, it really didn't dawn on me that I could actually just set up on the Growlithe, and then even if I don't put anything else to sleep, I'm just able to take everything out with Body Slam. But unfortunately that isn't the case, and I continue to do the exact same strategy. But this time on Rapidash, it finally gets a miss, but unfortunately we aren't able to put it to sleep, as it continues to hit us with another Fire Spin. But then it misses again, and we don't miss our Sleep Powder and begin to set up our Sword Stances, as we're then able to switch to Body Slam as we outspeed, and then we're able to take out both. Now for the next battle with Giovanni, I'm in a really awkward position. I got rid of our grass move in Petal Dance, which would have been very good against all of his Pokemon. So now we're forced to do a little bit different strategy. Let's take a look. Rhyhorn is a perfect target to set up on, so we continue to attempt to set it to sleep, and when we finally do, we get our 3 Sword Stance off, and we're able to then use Acid because we're trying to save our Body Slams for the better Pokemon, and so we're just going to continue to use Acid until Rhyhorn finally goes down, which doesn't take too long. Now for Dugtrio, we just use a Body Slam, and for Nidoqueen, we thought about using Sleep Powder, but Body Slam is just strong enough, as then we try the same thing on Nidoking, and it succeeds. Rhydon, however, we put it to sleep and then use a few Body Slams, as it's very tanky, and it takes more than just a few Body Slams to take out. Now for Rival 6, I took a look at just how much XP we have, which is 2106 until the next level up. This means that I need to take out at least 2 Pokemon most likely before I'm able to set up and then sweep the rest of his team, but as you can see, Rhyhorn here is just not cooperating and our damage output is just so low. We really do need to set up before this part, because our damage is not working out, and we're running out of PP at this point. Regardless, we're still able to finish it off and level up. Now, we just need to set Execute to sleep, which turns out to be a more difficult task than it sounds, and then we set up with our 3 Sword Stance, as we then take it out with an Acid. Next up is going to be Gyarados, and Gyarados is scary, as I mentioned, and we attempt to put it to sleep, but it just does not want to fall asleep. But Body Slam takes it out and takes us to Alakazam, in which Body Slam takes that one out as well, as Charizard is also just a single Body Slam. Now I'm not gonna lie, this does look like it's been a struggle to this point, but you gotta remember, we haven't used a rare candy and we haven't really done much extra training, and we're only at 6 resets, and we're under an hour at this point, which is just crazy. Now just like Lapras, I'm gonna go into the Elite Four without using my rare candies, just to see if we're able to actually beat the game at a really low level. Dugong is first, and we attempt to put it to sleep, as we are then able to use Sword Stance to start to set up. Now, Dugong is an ice type, and we're very weak to ice types, so it's a very big priority to make sure to take it out without being hit. Now, Cloyster is next, and we're able to put it to sleep and take it out with some acids as well. This then brings us to Slowbro, who honestly can't damage us because of the same reason why Misty couldn't damage us, so it's very easy win there. But then we level up, and Jinx is able to outspeed us and hit us with a massive Ice Beam, as our Body Slam then takes it out and brings us to Lapras, who takes massive damage from our Body Slam as we get the win. Now, I'm not expecting much of a challenge from the Black Belt, so I don't even bother to do anything. I just walk right up to him and start the battle. Well, the Black Belt battle is pretty much as it always is, as we just go ahead and set up on the Onix, and then we're going to try and sweep the rest of the team. However, Acid, ooh, boy, do I really not remember those resistances. Onix resists Acid pretty well, so we switch over to Body Slam, and we're then able to get the victory on Onix. Then, for Hitmonchan, we just go ahead and Acid it down, as well as the Hitmonlee. Now, for the next Onix, we're really wanting to just go ahead and Sleep Powder and Body Slam it. We're not really worried about Rock Throw as we resist it. And then for Machamp, you know, Sleep Powder, then go ahead and hit it with a Body Slam. Pretty simple, no issues whatsoever. Alright, now for the battle that I dread the most, the Agatha battle. Body Slam isn't effective, Acid is being double resisted, and we don't even have a grass move anymore. So we really don't have anything for Agatha. For some reason, I got in my head that Mega Drain was going to be more effective than Acid, so I taught Mega Drain for this battle. It starts out with a Gengar, and we attempt to put it to sleep successfully. We then set up our Swords Dance and get ready to go ahead and attack. However, I did forget that Mega Drain is a special move, therefore it does nothing. At this point, I realize this, and I just go ahead and reset. Alright, on the next attempt, things do not go our way, as we get hit with a Confuse Ray immediately. And as you can probably tell, we just keep on hitting ourselves, and we finally land our first Sleep Powder and start beginning to set up, and even after 2 setups, get taken out by a Nightshade. On the next attempt, things still pretty much go pretty badly, as we get to set up our Sleep Powder, but then we start hitting ourselves twice. She then switches out to Golbat, which allows us to set Golbat to sleep and start the setup. We've already got 2 Swords Dance set up, and now we're going to go for a Sleep Powder and miss, as well as getting hit with Confusion, as we now get hit by a Haze, removing everything we worked so hard for. We put Golbat back to sleep, get our 3 Swords Dance set up, and finally take it out. As the next Gengar comes out, which is actually the first, it puts us back to sleep and hits us with a Dream Eater, and then a Nightshade. On the next attempt, we get hit by a Hypnosis and then immediately taken out by a Dream Eater. On the next attempt, things go a little bit differently as we get confused, and then we set Gengar to sleep. But we fight through the confusion to set up 3 Swords Dance, and now we finally get to go on the offensive, as a double resisted Acid does about a 4th. But then a Hyper Potion makes it a 5-hit KO, which is not too bad. Golbat, however, does fall asleep, and then takes a Body Slam. We start off with an Acid, which I was hoping to do about half, but it does a 3rd, so I try and put it back to sleep, which it wakes up, and then we put it to sleep again, as we finish it off with some Acids. But Super Potions get in the way, and it takes a lot more hits than originally anticipated. Arbok goes down in 1 hit, and now we're back to our final Gengar. The Gengar takes about a 5th from Acid, and hits us with a Nightshade, putting us in terrifying range. But we're able to fight through and take it out with some more Acids for the victory. Now, I'm not too worried about Lance, as we're a poison type, and Lance will just use agility on his 3 dragons, allowing us to only have to really fight Gyarados and Aerodactyl. Now, we fight through the speed tie and are able to get Gyarados to sleep as we begin to set up with our Swords Dance, allowing us to hopefully sweep through the rest of the team. Gyarados goes down to a Body Slam, Dragonair almost goes down to a Body Slam if it weren't for a crit, and then the next Dragonair goes down to another Body Slam, followed by Aerodactyl, which we take the easy route and put it to sleep first, as we then go ahead and finish it off with some Acids for some reason. Although, a Hyper Potion slows things down a bit. Last up is Dragonite, and it's only going to spam Barrier and Agility, so this one is just a matter of time before we finally get the win and move on to the champion. Now, for the champion, I make sure to use 1 rare candy at the start, so that way we have the longest amount of time before we level up. But Pidgeot is then able to hit us with a massive Sky Attack. putting us in bad shape. We get our full setup, and then we go ahead and attempt to sweep. Take out Pidgeot, we take out Alakazam, but now for Rhydon, for some reason I got in my head that I wanted to take Rhydon out with Acid, or possibly I wanted some extra badge boost. But with such low HP, this doesn't make any sense, and I just don't understand myself. But I continue to use Acid until eventually things go awry, as the Rhydon just won't stay asleep, and as the champion then uses a full restore, things go south for us, because all that time we used on Acids was now wasted, and we get taken out with a Fury attack. Next attempt, things go a little bit differently, as we're able to put Pidgeot to sleep, and then we go ahead and start setting up with our Swords Dance. Now, Pidgeot finally stays asleep as we take it out with Body Slam, followed by Alakazam on the next turn. Now, for Rhydon, I go ahead and put it to sleep, then use a Body Slam, and for some reason, I still am trying to go with Acid, like I'm saving the Body Slams for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. We have 15 of them, but not before long we take it out, go on to Exeggutor and take that one out as well. Then Gyarados is next, as it goes first and hits us with a Hyper Beam. Then we go ahead and put it to sleep, hit it with a Body Slam, and then move on to Charizard. But we leveled up and we get hit by Fire Blast. On the next attempt, we go ahead and take out Gyarados, and we still level up, even after 2 rare candies. And now, Fire Spin is just going to take us out. On the next attempt, after using all of our rare candies, we finally make it to Charizard and still level up. But thankfully, he misses the Fire Spin and we get through with our Body Slam, allowing us to get the victory and become the champion of the Pokemon League. We finished the game at level 61 with 104 real time, 342 game time, and 13 resets. This is one of my best first runs ever, as Vileplume starting with Sleep Powder just allowed us to get through every difficult obstacle just by lucking our way through it. Also, being able to learn Swords Dance really allowed us to power through fights that we just do not deserve to win. Even though Acid isn't that strong of a move, being powered up with Swords Dance really makes it just powerful enough to get through any obstacle, especially since it has Stab. Up next, as you guys probably already know, we're going to be doing some testing to see what we can do to improve and make our final run that much better. But before then, we're going to do our creator shoutout. Today's creator shoutout is Kangaskhan. He does very different kinds of runs. The best I can say is that they're a challenge style run like mine, but he puts a story narrative around it. Basically, it's like an anime run. Here's a very short clip of one of his most recent videos that I absolutely loved.
Managing to catch Blaine and his brainless goons before they set sail for Pallet Town, Erica takes the nutter on. Blaine leads Growlithe, who intimidates Ivy, but despite the attack drop, one return is enough to take the pup out. One return takes the Ponyta down low, as a Fire Blast returns the favour.
Oh my god, a fire horse? I need a selfie like yesterday.
Not one to disappoint, Erica switches Groot in for the selfie, and she's immediately incinerated.
Lit.
Alright, time to figure out where there's improvements to be made on the Vileplume run. Now, before we go ahead and get started here, I'm just going to preface this by telling you guys that we're only going to be battling Rival 1A and anybody that's standing in front of a rare candy. So this means that we're going to arrive at the battles at as low a level as possible, meaning that we can get a consistent run for each run. The first major change is when we battle Misty. We decide that it's actually easier just to use Petal Dance, as it one-shots the Staryu and two-shots the Starmie. Now, this run is very surprising, as there aren't very many changes to be made, so the next battle is actually deciding if I want to try Rival 5 before Koga, so I'm going to do just that. Now, interestingly enough, I'm actually very close to the next level up, so this is actually perfect. As you can see, 48 XP to the next level. This will then allow me to set up on the Execute, which is a pretty good plan because Execute isn't going to use anything other than Poison Powder on us. Execute isn't really being too cooperative, but once it finally cooperates, we make sure to get our 3 Swords Dance in and then finish it off with an Acid. Or so I thought until it used a potion. Now Gyarados is going to be an easy KO. I'm not sure why I bothered with Sleep Powder, but Body Slam is more than enough to take it out. taking us to Alakazam, which then takes us out real easily. Even while using a rare candy, there's still no way we could beat this battle, because it just requires too little the amount of experience to level up, so we need to come back with a higher level after defeating Koga. Even with those extra levels under our belt, we now arrived at Koga at about halfway between the levels. So we go ahead and try to see if we can win, but it's very clear to me that we're going to level up at a very inopportune time. But maybe things will go lucky and we'll level up right before Gyarados here on the Execute. But we don't, and now Gyarados is the only target we have before the Alakazam to go ahead and try and set up, which is a bad idea because Alakazam is obviously going to take us out, and even if we don't get taken out by Alakazam, clearly the Charizard is going to outspeed and take us out, so we're going to need to use a rare candy. Coming back after using the rare candy, things are going to go a little bit differently because we're going to be able to set up on the Pidgeot here, allowing the rest of the battle to become a lot easier. We're able to take out the Pidgeot in one hit, and then we're also going to take out the Execute in one hit, as well as the Gyarados in one hit, and we don't level up, which allows us to take out the Alakazam in one hit as well. We do level up after the Alakazam, but now we just have to survive one hit from Charizard. Next point of contention is the Rival 6 battle, in which things aren't actually that bad, but the problem here is that we're going to not outspeed the Alakazam, and that's going to allow him to use a Psychic before then leveling up and getting taken out by a Charizard Flamethrower. Oddly enough, while editing this video, I actually noticed that I had a speed tie with Alakazam at our current level. But the thing is, I tried it one level higher and I still lost. However, after using 2 rare candies, I was able to outspeed and then survive a Flamethrower off the Charizard, allowing me to take the victory. Up next on the things to improve is actually going to be the Lorelei battle. See, the battle isn't hard, and it really wasn't hard even on the first run, but the thing here is that after taking out the Dugong, we then don't run into any issues with the Cloyster or even the Slowbro. However, the real problem lies with Jinx. On her own, Jinx is really not a strong Pokemon. She has low defense. Here, the problem is that she's fast, and she hits us first with Ice Punch because of a level up. However, this problem is solved by using a rare candy. As you can see, on the next attempt, we have 142 speed and are able to outspeed her no issues whatsoever, allowing us to go into Lapras with just enough HP to take one attack from it. Now, of course, the last battle is of course the champion. We arrive at level 59 with 34 XP to the next level up, which is a problem because Alakazam is next, and I reset immediately. This allowed me to revisit my strategy before of using all my rare candies on Agatha, as now I'm going to save one rare candy and use it right before the champion for the next attempt. Now, this attempt is going to go much better. We have Sleep Powder, and then we can just set up on the first Pokemon, allowing us to go through most of the team with relative ease. Of course, starting with the Pidgeot, followed by the Alakazam. Then the Rhydon is a little bit of a point of contention, as you know, it's not the easiest thing to take down with only moves like Body Slam and Acid, but we do eventually get through it after a few attempts. I don't know why I bothered putting it to sleep, it's not like it can do much damage to us. Executor is just an Acid like it usually is. And that brings us to Gyarados, which, for the most part, we've only used Body Slam up to this point, but, you know, I try to put it to sleep anyways. Now we have an unavoidable level up, and we need to take a hit from Charizard. Luckily, on this attempt, he only uses a Fire Spin and misses. Well, that's about it for the learning section of the video. I think we have just enough information to go ahead and get started on the real attempt. So, fingers crossed, and wish me good luck. We're going to change things up a little bit and switch our Vileplume's name to Petals. For no other reason other than, you know, it's got a lot of petals. Nothing really changes in the Champ 1 battle as we just go ahead and finish it off with a few acids. Again, Growl doesn't really do much but lower our attack, and that's not much. As I said, we're going to be sticking to basically minimum battles plus Rival 1A, and this is Rival 1A. And we have a Petals that does Sleep Powder, and we can go ahead and take care of the Charmander and Pidgey. Not too much of an issue. You know, things wake up a little bit too often, but we get the win. Brock is very simple, as usual. Just go ahead and hit it with some Petal Dances, and it'll be over like that. Misty is up once again, and we're just going to go ahead and stick to our new Petal Dance strategy as we're able to take her out in the 3 attacks like we thought we would. Rival 2 doesn't pose much of a threat as long as we don't get hit by his sand attack, and as you can see, he missed his first sand attack and we don't get hit by his sand attack, allowing us to go ahead and take out the rest of the team with a handful of acids, taking us to Charmander, who goes no differently as it goes down to 2 acids. Followed by Champ 3, who starts off with Pidgeotto and doesn't land a single sand attack, allowing us to get through Eradicate, but Kadabra outspeeds and hits us with a Confusion as we then take it out with a Body Slam, leaving us at low HP for Charmeleon. He lands an Ember, but it's not enough. Next is Surge, and he starts out with his Voltorb as usual, going down with a Body Slam, and Pikachu again going down with Body Slam. I choose to put Raichu to sleep as it can be a little fiddly when it comes to taking out, but it stayed asleep, so we won. Followed by Erica next, where the strategy has not changed. We again just use a sleep powder and some body slams, followed by some acids, and then that will take us to the false Vileplume, in which we can easily take it out with a body slam, and then followed by 2 more body slams. That takes us to Rival 4, in which I don't even know why I bother showing this battle. I mean, the dude is just so easy. I mean, look at this. We take out his Pokemon, even with the Execute putting us to sleep and hitting us with some barrages. It's not a matter of if we'll win, it's when we win. And it takes us a really long time, but we do get through Execute in the end. Gyarados then decides to cooperate as it goes down to 2 body slams, followed by the Kadabra, who goes down to a body slam, leading to the Charmeleon that also goes down to 2 body slams. I did make one change going into Koga. I decided to grab a PP up and use it on Body Slam as we made it to Koga last time without enough Body Slams, and we did get a crit last time, so that honestly made me feel a lot better going in with more Body Slams. It took 8 body slams just to get through the first coughing and the muck, so I think the decision was absolutely worth it. And we're going to take out this coughing and 3 more body slams, leaving us with 6 for wheezing. That feels much better than the previous attempts. Luckily, of the turns that Wheezing had, it didn't bother using self-destruct, allowing us to chip away with body slam after body slam. Surprisingly, we did need all 18 of them. Next up is Champ 5, and nothing has changed in the few minutes that you've seen since the test run, and we're just going to go ahead and put Pidgeot to sleep, set up, and go ahead and finish off the team as long as we don't get a crit. Execute is an easy acid, followed by the Gyarados, which is an easy body slam, then the Alakazam, which is also a body slam, and we should be able to take a hit from the Charizard, and we do. Then it's Sabrina, which nothing changes here. We go in with the low XP needed for the level up, and we're able to set up on the Mr. Mime, just like the first run, surprisingly. And after this, it's just going to be a clean sweep as we take down Mr. Mime with a body slam, Venomoth with a body slam, and now Alakazam with a body slam. Next up is Blaine, who things worked out real perfectly, only needing 499 XP to the next level up. So all we have to do is take out Growlithe with some body slams, and then work our way to Ponyta to make sure we set up. Ponyta, however, has got different plans, and Ponyta does not want to go to sleep as we just keep on missing. But we eventually do get through and get our 3 setups, and we take out Ponyta with a body slam, Rapidash with a body slam, and then Arcanine with a body slam. Nothing has really changed for Giovanni, but the only difference here is we don't really need the speed for the badge boost, so we can actually just set up on Rhyhorn, even though it's not very efficient to. But luckily, the badge boost stayed with us just long enough to outspeed the Doug trio, and then we should just be able to outspeed the rest of the team and take out with some body slams, although Rhydon, a little bit more difficult. We do put it back to sleep, go ahead and try and finish it off. It is being quite a pain, as it takes us to 31 with a stomp, but now we finally land our sleep, go ahead and finish it off with a few body slams. Closer than expected. Now, a little bit of a bonus is that thanks to GameHook, I can actually see my stat XP, allowing me to know that I can actually still afford to take 5 proteins to this point, allowing me to actually get my attack stat up way up, and you know with Swords Dance that matters a lot. I make sure to take my 2 rare candies before Rival 6 this time, making sure to put Pidgeot to sleep and use my 3 Swords Dance before then sweeping the rest of the team with hopefully Body Slam. Now this of course takes us to Rhyhorn, which we know we're not going to take out with one body slam, but you know, 2 is just fine. As it goes to execute, we take that out with an acid, followed by Gyarados with a body slam, followed by Alakazam with another body slam, with a level up, so let's see what we get hit by. Flamethrower, and we survive and take it out with a body slam. Now you're probably thinking, Steve, this is your second run and you're going so fast, why don't you slow down a bit? But look at our time is only 44 minutes up to this point. We are going the speed that I'm going. We're not going to slow down at this point, so Lorelei is next, and we know the strategy now. But unfortunately in my haste, I actually forgot to use a rare candy. So we're going into this battle not going to be able to outspeed the Jinx. But let's see if it matters. As we get our 3 setups in, take out the Dugong, and now we're going to go ahead and attempt to take out the Cloyster. Being very defensively bulky, it takes 2 attacks. But regardless, we're just going to go right through, take out the Slowbro, although for some reason using Acid, not sure why. And then we're going to go ahead and move over to Jinx, and I'm going to attempt to put it to sleep knowing we're not going to outspeed, and it wakes up and we get a crit, so it didn't matter. Taking us to Lapras, who only uses a Super Potion. Nothing has changed for the black belt, just go ahead and set the Onix to sleep, take it out with some body slams, go ahead and save the acids for the fighting types, and then we're just going to go ahead and sweep through the rest of the team. But it does take a while because Onix, you know, is a rock type and it does resist our body slams, so it's slow but sure. As you can see, Hitmonchan goes down to an acid, or so I thought it would, but 2 acids is just fine, and then Hitmonlee, of course, goes down to body slam. Onix gonna go down to our last 5 body slams. Probably should have used one of those for Onix, but it's okay, we have 2 to spare, and we're gonna go ahead and take out Machamp with our final body slams. And make sure to preemptively use all of my rare candies before the next battle except one. That way we have it for the champion, as this battle goes quite well. As you can see that we're putting Gengar to sleep, and we've already set up all 3 of our Swords Dance, and Gengar is still asleep, allowing us to finish it off after setting up everything. Golbat is a simple KO with Body Slam. Haunter, gonna go ahead and put it to sleep, although it doesn't want to stay asleep, but luckily we don't miss any of our 75% accurate sleep powders, and then go ahead and take out Haunter, and now take out Arbok, taking us to the final Gengar. This Gengar of course doesn't want to go to sleep either, but it also doesn't have very good move choices as it goes for Dream Eater twice, and once it finally goes to sleep, it stays asleep as we get the win. Next up is Lance, and I skipped him in the training run for a reason. He's really not any different from the last run, as we just go ahead and attempt to kill off the Gyarados and then set up on the next Dragonair. This is actually a perfect turn of events because we didn't level up during the Agatha battle, but during this Lance battle we actually do level up twice, which is really useful because it makes great use of our final rare candy, allowing us to get an extra level and skipping all the XP. Just need to finish off Lance, and that was the last difficult Pokemon in Aerodactyl, as Dragonite is a freebie. Make sure to use our last rare candy, as this is the final battle, the champion battle, the 0 reset run battle. We get our 3 setup moves in, take out the Pidgeot, take out the Alakazam. Now we're going to go ahead and finish the ride on off real slow, but that's not a big deal as we're already at 49 minutes. We can do this. We have less than 1 minute to make sub 50 and catch up to our Alakazam run as we take down the Executor. And now only is Gyarados left as we put it to sleep for no reason, as if I knew I was gonna get a crit. And now the final Pokemon. Charizard misses the Fire Split and we win! Guys, I beat 0 resets. You know how difficult that is? I do so many runs on the channel and so many things can go wrong. That's amazing. Anyways, we set a very good time. This is gonna make a high spot on our tier list. Anyways, we finished the game at level 61 with 49 minutes real time, 3:19 game time, and 0 resets. As you guys can tell, everything from our learning run worked flawlessly. Everything was consistent, every battle was in the same order, everything went the same way, and thanks to Sleep Powder, most of the run was exactly consistent no matter what trial we had to pass. Vileplume has just about everything at its disposal. It's got Sleep Powder at the beginning of the game, it's got Swords Dance to power up its pretty decent moves, it's got a pretty decent attack stat that can be powered up thanks to Swords Dance. Oh my god, it has everything. And it's got a decent amount of speed, so we're able to outspeed most things in the game. Not nearly as fast as you would like, but you know, it's good enough. As far as the rankings are concerned, I think there's no question that it's going to be the second Pokemon on our list. It was basically better than everything except Alakazam. There wasn't a single obstacle we couldn't eventually get by with enough luck, and things just went really well overall. Now, as far as the next Pokemon is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and treat all of the Dome Fossil comments from my last video as requests to do Kabuto, so that way we have a good comparison for the Fossil battle. If you'd like a Pokemon to be done, make sure to comment on this or any of my other videos. If you have any suggestions for a challenge, ways to improve my strategy, maybe even a way to improve the quality of my videos, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. My channel is always improving, and every video I plan to bring even better content. Keep the suggestions coming, and I look forward to bringing you another video. On a side note, I just got back from vacation, and I put this video out in 4 days. I did it a little bit differently than I normally do a video, so let me know in the comment section if you didn't like the changes, or let me know if you didn't even notice the changes, because if I can put out videos every 4, 5, 6 days, that would be fantastic. Thank you guys.